Wake up, you sleepyheads. Jabberjawn is back and we are throwing rocks at your window to get your attention. It's been way too misspelled long since we last graced the stage, so we may be a bit rusty, but we still have the presence of mind to rely on muscle reflexes to get us through tonight's show. If you notice any glitches or long pauses, those will be edited out for the theatrical release. Tonight, it's just you and us for a more down-home type of performance. No special effects, no guest stars, no elaborate costume changes mid-song. Hope you can all pull up a lawn chair, get a cold one out of the cooler, and join us for a little chit-chat. Bring your knitting or watercolor set and make these 90 minutes enjoyable and productive. Free popcorn if you have your ticket stub from the last show. Hope to see you all on Jabberjawn.
Frog sitting on a log, one of them fell in. One frog said to the other frog, well, you better go get her. Two little frogs sitting on a log, one of them fell in. Last little frog, he sat and thought, good thing they can swim. Jabberjaw, 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 Jabberjaw. Three little frogs sitting on a log, one burst into a grin. One frog said to the other frog, wonder what's got into him. Two little frogs sitting on a log, one laughed until he is red. Last little frog, he sat and thought.
Oh my goodness. All right. Oh, you hit a button?
I hit a button.
Well, this is where we want to be. And here we are. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Jabberjawn. I'm Nathan Moore.
I'm Kyle Hogg.
I'm Stephen Moore.
And it's good to be back together with you, back in the saddle.
Yep.
And there's a little serendipity already happening. I did not read your little intro earlier, but I had decided to sing this song, and they both sort of have something in common.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You misspelled the word long.
What word did you misspell?
Long. I don't know how you misspell long.
Lots of O's. This morning I went straight to the mountain, and there I rose from sleep to the pounding of 1,000 hearts dancing light on their feet. I walked on my hands, spun on my head, puffed away my sins. I stepped barefoot from my bed right into ducking juggling pins. Rise and shine, sleepyhead, up and at 'em, out of bed, the day is anew. And love's been looking for you. Rub your eyes, you got something to do. You're a miracle boy. How could I have been so afraid, so lost last night inside myself? How could the sun shine so today like there's love and nothing else? I've been broke so many ways that whatever I hold just spills. But just maybe, like the morning rays of sun across the hills, rise and shine, sleepyhead. Up and at 'em, out of bed, the day is anew. And love's been looking for you. Rub your eyes, you got something to do. You're a miracle boy. Woo! Yeah, I was stuck inside my head, but life pulled me right from bed, saying you're just asleep, you're not dead. And like Mama always said, rise and shine, sleepyhead. You up and at 'em out of bed, the day is anew. And love's been looking for you. Rub your eyes, you got something to do. You're a miracle born. And love's been looking for you. 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 Hey!
Yay!
First time I really finger picked on my gypsy jazz guitar. But hey,
Very nice.
just breaking the rules. I broke so many rules just now you don't even know. You're not supposed to play one of those guitars like that.
Police will be here soon.
And we're in. Back in the saddle. You know, I had to do some rearranging and move the camera because I watched the last couple episodes and it looked like we were proactively trying to create the illusion that I was huge. And even when I was like, all right, I got to fix that. And I was like, how do I do it? Because we're not sitting over there. But then I fired up the camera and looked at the screen and just my chair looked twice the size as your chair. It was all angles and illusion, perspective, or whatever.
Just because my eyes are so small.
That's right.
So is it different now?
we got to move. Yeah, I moved my chair back a little bit and the camera over a little bit. I feel like, how do we look, Lex? Was it a little bit more proportional?
You look
You got
fine,
the
Giant.
thumbs
You look fine, Andre. Don't worry about it.
So we just got back from a big adventure. We went to see the Barr Brothers last night in Vienna, Virginia, at the Wolf Trap Barns. It's called the Barns at Wolf Trap. I'd been to one. So there's also an outdoor venue there, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's the famous one.
Right.
And I've been.
Equally wooden and beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there once, but it was so long ago I can't quite remember it. But I've heard of this. I'd heard of this other place where we went last night, but I'd never been there, and it's an amazing place to see music. Highly recommend it. Apparently, it's this barn where the stage was and everything was a German barn from New York State that was built in 1720, and they took it apart piece by piece and reassembled it at Wolf Trap and made a venue out of it.
Yep.
So you just talk about vibe. It was just.
Now, do you know, was it from that same general area, or did they move it from?
I think they said like New York State
Oh, okay.
or something, and this is Vienna, Virginia.
Right.
so-
Wow.
But and it's so funny how time just keeps moving faster and faster. But I had trying to do the math last night. You know, it'd been a while since I'd seen the full Barr Brothers band. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but it was like it'd been like 8 or 9 years
Oh,
or
wow.
something. It was like it's just crazy how that works. Just doing the math, like, oh no, still pre-COVID or post-COVID is still the standard way people get their
Right.
brain around when they saw each other last.
Yeah. Try to make sense of the time warp that occurred because
Mm-hmm.
it was like that. It was like a time warp. I feel like there's like a good 4 years at least that just felt like a blink and not a lot was happening.
Saw a Jabberjawn viewer at the show last night. Jay Dodd came up, even recognized Lex randomly. I don't think they'd ever met before. But came up, was like, "You're Lex, right?"
Oh, I
But
like him.
yeah, he's a sweetheart.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it was real cool.
Gee, good to see you. Oh, we got tech support in the house.
Now, did they play the night before too? You said you went up the night before. You just hung out.
I
with
went
them?
up. Yeah, I went up early because they got in there a night before and had the night off.
Right.
So I went up and kept Brad up too late. Felt a little guilty. He was trying to take a nap before his show, and I was like, "Don't!" I did it again. It's causing trouble.
I got more stories. Don't go to sleep.
But yeah, so I went up and the night before and hung out with Brad and Andrew and met their crew a little bit. And Brad and I played some music into the wee hours.
Oh, cool.
Great.
Yeah, the whole thing was awesome. And then we got back in time today, just in time to see America win 2 golds, the women's hockey and then the figure skating. So everything's just sort of going
What a
according
couple
to
of
plan
days.
at the moment. Yeah.
Wow.
We're on a roll. I feel like we got to keep it up. I feel like even like the USA team and stuff is feeding off our energy. Who knows? If we weren't on riding such a wave, we might not have gotten those golds. I do think about it. It is weird sometimes to think about how, like, if you watch a football game and you know how fans will get superstitious about stuff, but to me, on a certain level, it's inconceivable to think that if I wasn't watching, that football game would have gone exactly the same way.
Well,
that interception would have happened at the last second. Like the
It would.
idea that it all would have just occurred the same way if I hadn't been watching is hard for me to accept.
You can't. It's not true.
You think you're with me on that?
Yeah, I think everything that.
I think it makes a big difference whether you paint yourself red and stripes and.
That's why you
like
do that?
And just act like a complete imbecile in front of the camera. Whenever it pans by, you act like an idiot. And I think that's what wins most ball games.
That's right.
As the games I watch, that's what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in there has just gone crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and it just turns the tide.
Yeah, I think it does.
Have you ever gotten crazy for anything like that as a fan?
Never.
Not on any.
I was thinking about that because that is so foreign to me that you would get that involved with the team
Uh-huh.
that you just kind of go and just be as nutty as you can be, just for the team.
Have you ever?
I think that's a wonderful idea.
It
but
is a
I've
wonderful
never,
idea.
I've never considered it for a minute.
Have you ever done that for anything, like for a fan of music, or like where you changed your outward appearance to show your solidarity or love or
Oh, let's
support for
see.
something external?
Well, that girl I dated in high school, I wore that underwear. I wore good underwear. I think that's important. I mean, nothing ever happens, but you just don't know.
Just in case.
There could be a wreck, or you just don't know. But is that what you mean?
I don't know.
I might have told this story before, but me and my
Not sure you
brother-
wore them on the outside of your pants.
Well, I didn't do that after a while. I ain't dumb.
I was more imagining you
I'm
like
slow. I'm
wearing
slow.
wearing something to communicate to the world. I love this
Yeah,
thing.
I can't think of anything.
Mm-hmm.
I was never a uniform person. I never liked to stick out. I like to just be drab, and I wrote brown is my color of necessity.
I'm dressed
I
completely
like, I like blending in and not being that person.
Right, not sticking out.
But that doesn't mean I disapprove of the other. I think it's wonderful that people can get that crazy about something like that.
Trying to remember what you wore at High Sierra. If you tried to step outside of your comfort zone for that, or probably
No,
not.
I just wore.
He was naked with an American
Oh,
flag tied
Oh,
around
that's
his shoulder.
see, I knew.
What's that?
You were naked with an American flag tied around your shoulders, just walking around.
Well, I'd never been to California. I thought you were supposed to dress like that. But I learned you weren't.
Do you remember what you were about to say there a second?
Oh yeah,
ago?
back when me and my brother were huge Carolina basketball fans, and one time they had been
Wait,
winning.
which Carolina? Like Tar Heels?
University, yeah. And season started, they hadn't lost a game, so we decided we weren't going to shave until they lost the game. And I had to go to, and we weren't trimming it or anything. And I had to go to the doctor, like just a checkup. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sort of rough looking, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah," and explained to him why. and they won like 20 games in a row or something. So there was a Mexican restaurant in town, and I was going there for lunch, and I saw this guy walking. I was like, God, that guy's like a hot mess. He looks terrible. Got closer, it was my brother. I didn't recognize him. He had this crazy ass beard, and I was like, I hope that guy it's not coming our way. I was like, is that you? And he's like, yeah. I was like, God, you look terrible. He goes, I was thinking the same thing when I saw you coming down here.
Well, what team are you supporting now with this face? Who's on a winning streak these days?
What did somebody say about my? Oh God!
I actually like the rough stubble.
Oh my God! Somebody said something about my face that cracked me up. I can't remember what it was. Oh my gosh! This is just laziness.
All right, what's the time on the clock? Blank shadow, in referring to a beard.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. What's the origin of that idea?
Is that AM or PM?
Right.
I don't know.
You know, a lot of those guys shave, and then about 5 o'clock they've already started.
Already.
going.
It's already back,
starting.
yeah.
They're just that virile.
Yeah.
That was what was the assistant principal at John Lewis? Goodlow or something like that.
There was a Mr. Goodlow, yeah.
You'd see him in the morning, crisp, nice looking, to see him by like the 3 o'clock when the bell rang. He almost had like a full beard. I was like, what the hell?
It's like Willie T. I feel like Willie T's
Right.
like that.
That's true.
He gets shaved, and a month later his beard's like that.
Yeah, because he is like just this giant beard as a character. It's how he's, and like when he shaved it off once, I was just like, oh my God. I didn't even recognize Willie without a beard. But then, yeah, by 5 o'clock, just full on area. All right, and we're back.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube?
Moody Man.
Like YouTube where like a guy's had a beard, like his whole relationship, and his kids have never seen him without a beard. And like those shit,
Oh,
and
right.
like the kids are like, oh, they're like they're scared. And the
Right.
wife's looking like,
Who's
no,
this?
why did you do that?
Saul, greetings from Colombia, he says.
Oh, wow.
Good to see you.
Azo,
We got God's watching. Hey, good to see you.
Columbia.
Who's watching God?
Welcome. Yeah, God's watching.
Cheers.
Road Rager Roger. Hey Nathan, when are you coming back to practice? I don't know. I might not. I have been just the last couple of days thinking about whether or not I wanted to start streaming on some level again, but I haven't had the light bulb moment yet. There was some article I was reading about somebody's live stream and their use of green screens that got me, that tickled that little fancy I have. Just like, that might be fun to do a green screen thing again, but I don't know. My big motivation was, my inspiration was to get out into the world again playing, and felt like that was my calling, that's what the universe wants me to do. But I don't know. I just got back from being out in the world, starting to doubt that. It might have been.
I'm exhausted.
It's weird out there. It's a weird world. I guess it's always
after
been
9 o'clock. It changes, man. After 9. you
after 9 p.m.
know? Apparently, right?
Yeah, it's.
Wait, can we go back to the Bar Brothers story real quick? I just want to talk about Nathan, the hero, of the night. We probably would not have gotten a particular song on set list that night.
This is true.
One of my favorites.
We were all
by the way.
heroes in this regard, and we all got a shout out from the stage for it. Lex got a shout out. Kethra got a shout out.
Yep.
And
But
none
Nathan-
of it could have happened without all three of us.
Well, apparently Nathan was aware to begin with, so had the mind to bring glue and stuff that we needed to fix this broken ukulele.
Yeah, we were sitting, when I first got there, we were in the kitchen, and Brad and I were starting to go to play some music, and he grabbed this case, and he pulled this ukulele out of it, and he was like, oh, this isn't my other, he thought it was a different instrument, so it was all a mistake. He never would have even looked at it. But luckily, he pulled it out and realized that the way it was packed from the gig the night before, the headstock had just snapped. I mean, it was broke. It was just like clear, just snapped. It was like bent that way.
Something heavy set.
And
on
luckily,
it.
I'd gone up before, and they were coming up the next day. So at like 3 in the morning, I texted Catherine, "Good morning. Any chance you could bring some wood glue and some clamps?" So she did. She came down here and grabbed every clamp she could find and the wood glue. And backstage before the about an hour and a half before showtime, your crucial contribution, Lex. Not only the confidence, because he's glued so many instruments recently, but that way we used that business card and putting the glue on the edge of the card to get it in there.
Yep.
Clutch.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have approached it like that, but that was definitely the move. It was very satisfying.
And this is like, an hour before
Wow.
showtime. So we weren't sure.
I know, yeah.
if the
Like
glue was gonna
Dave was
hold.
pretty clutch in that moment. It'll probably dry in about 30 minutes, because otherwise, I don't even know if I would have been willing to try it.
Yeah, because, once you start putting, and the other thing is that it wasn't a conventionally strung ukulele, and it wasn't tuned conventionally. It was an odd tuning, like this particular.
It was like a
alternate-
6-string ukulele.
Yeah.
Two of the strings were a pair of strings.
So
it was
the
like
new-
1 string, 2 strings, 1 string, 2. And when Brad came out from his nap and we were starting the repair, he had a moment of panic in his eyes when he realized we took all the strings off. He was like, "Oh, I didn't know you'd have to do that." And he was
So
just
the
like,
new fear was like, okay, the glue's going to maybe hold, but we may not be able to get this thing strung and tuned in time. But
it was one of my favorite songs of the set too.
I love
God,
that
it
song
sounded
so
so
much.
good.
Yeah.
And
The
that
way
ukulele
bass
sounded amazing. And we got to sit out there glowing like this would not be happening.
Yeah. It's a great song. Great song.
They really did sound great, and they're really just hitting their stride too. It's the first, it's like show 5 of 50
wow.
or whatever. By the 50, they're going to be just
And they were
moving the
super
moon
stoked.
closer to the
All
earth.
of them were saying that was the show last night.
That was their favorite one yet.
Favorite one yet.
But I got a feeling Philly tonight might be in for a treat. Brooklyn's, I feel like it's just going to keep notching up. Every time I went on a tour with those guys, that's the way it was. By the end, we were just a well-oiled, fine-tuned machine. I love that arc of growth on the road is so fun.
What kind of crowd do they have? Like people you obviously know who they are, or just people there just to see a show?
I feel
Oh,
like
you
it was
can't-
mostly Bar Brothers fans, but I also feel like that venue we were at does have a built-in community of supporters of the arts kind of thing. What were we talking about before that?
Sorry.
That's all right.
About putting the old broken pedal into the box and taking it back, getting your money back, and then moving on.
What? Hey.
We don't need
Hey,
this.
Heather.
We don't need this after all.
Good to see you.
Getting out of town. Goodbye.
Madeline Ogden says, "Hi, Nathan, Steve, Kyle, and Lex." Hello. Brad told me that when he gave us a shout out, he was like, "Yeah, this wouldn't be happening without them, and want to thank them and everything." And I yelled out, "We'll see." And I yelled that out because 2 nights before he told me this story. It's like an old proverb from China or something, about this father who wins a horse or something. Like he gets gifted this horse somehow or another, and the neighbors are like, "Oh my God, you got this horse! You're so lucky! You're so fortunate! This is incredible! You're so blessed!" And the old man says, "We'll see." And a few days later, the horse kicks his child, his son, and breaks his leg. So the neighbors are all like, "Oh, what a terrible turn of luck. Your child has this broken leg. It's terrible. I feel so sorry for you." He says, "We'll see. We'll see." A few weeks later, war breaks out. They're rounding up every able-bodied young man to go surely die in this conflict. but the son is spared from the draft because of his wounded leg. So when Brad was like thanking me for fixing the ukulele, I just yelled out, "We'll see."
And then you
Then
marched off the
I was
board.
talking to him after that. I was like, "Did you hear what I said?" And he was like, no, not. What did you say? I was like, "We'll see." and then he was like, he sort of laughed, but he still didn't quite get. I was like, "Remember the story you told me the other night?" He's like, "Oh, and you were out there thinking I completely got that, weren't you?" I was like, "Yes, I was."
Everybody here loved that comment.
I was feeling very clever. It was just one-on-one, like he'll know what I mean. Magpie, good to see you.
Gosh, everybody's tuned in. I'm getting nervous now.
So, how you been, Dad? I haven't seen you in a little bit. Any updates from Selma?
Yeah, it's not going really that well. But
At least the
I wonder
snow's
I
thawed.
wonder how it's related to the weather and the fact that I can't get outside, and but I'm having trouble breathing, and that's always a problem, I think, for human beings.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Whenever I've run into it, I've had difficulty with it. Some people, I think, just go on and root for their team and get all dressed up. But for me, if I can't breathe, it just takes the fun out of being alive.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm hanging in there. But I think a lot of people right now are at the same place I am, on the road of just really being tired of themselves, to the point of one of the things I'm having trouble with is the things that a lot of times I do by myself for entertainment, I don't do anymore. Like I'm just not reading. I don't watch a movie. I am watching the Ken Burns specials. Like right now, I'm thinking that I really actually am the reincarnation of Mark Twain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I got into that. But with him, I've been through the Civil War and the Revolutionary War, and it's really depressing how many people. Oh, it's just unbelievable how many young men went off and died
Yeah.
in our backyard here in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one. Just the other night, they were on Ken Burns special on the Civil War, saying that McClellan stayed for like 3 weeks waiting and then he wouldn't attack and all that. But the statistic was he had 14,000 horses.
Wow.
Now think about 14,000 horses in Virginia, and you're feeding them with Virginia stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They're going out and raiding the fields, and 14,000 horses. That's not even talking about the men.
Wow.
It's just unbelievable, the scope of that war,
Yeah, it was insane.
and how bad it got so quickly, killing. I mean, 5,000 people was unheard of until that war.
Mm-hmm.
For to lose on the battle one day, 5,000 young men that all of them are from here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were a little bit further south than they're used to being, but
Right.
they were still in their own country, and so that's really been uplifting.
Yeah, that's
That's really what I ought to be reading right now,
Well,
right?
just to put those two together. What was the years of Mark Twain? Was he alive during the Civil War?
Mark Twain, he joined a bunch of rebels out in Missouri there, and he stayed with them a couple months, and they never raided. They would get dressed and show up, but they never fought. And then one day he decided to go west. So that's when he did the roughing it. And when
Oh, so that
So-
was during his time.
it was during his time, but
Are you saying he actually joined a southern?
yeah, he was on the southern side, but he didn't ever fight.
He never fought. Wow. I never would have guessed that.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't. He understood that slavery was a bad thing, but how do you go about changing it? And you know, with this writing and things,
Right.
and you can see it subtly, but you know, it's he was aware that. In other words, he wasn't a Confederate because of the slavery. He was a Confederate because of where he happened to be living.
Which was Mississippi, right?
Back then, he was in Missouri, in Hannibal,
All right.
on the Mississippi. You know, he had these different lives, but he spent a lot of time learning to be a steamboat captain, and that's where he got a lot of his stories. Because you know, watching, he was an observer. He would just go and watch everybody and steal all their stories and then make them funnier and send them back out. But he was a great guy.
That's where from the steamboats where he got his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Mark Twain.
Mark Twain.
Yeah,
like
Mark
something
Twain.
they called out about the depth of the
That's
water.
when
or
the
something.
depth was at a really good depth, and you were safe. You were at Mark Twain.
No, that's
I
good.
didn't know that until I watched the show.
It's funny when well, it's not funny that my grandfather died, but when my grandfather died, I was going through his books, and he has one of Mark Twain's books, but it doesn't even say Mark Twain. It says Samuel Clemens on it. I was like, wonder who published this with his real name on it.
Gosh,
Weird.
maybe it's super old and
Yeah,
valuable.
yeah.
Did it look old?
Yeah, it was really old. Talking about this, I'm got a, for $1, I got this 5 CD set about the Civil War. Just some guy telling facts about the Civil War. Like you were saying that Twain just basically fought because he was, from the South. And what did he do? He said, it's just hard. It's weird to think about. We just see movies about war and newscasts and stuff. Those people, they didn't really. I mean, war was like an adventure. They didn't see the horror and they didn't. You just lived in this little small town. You didn't know. Really. So they would, and these guys were like farmers that never even traveled. If they went to the next city, that was a big day for them. So this was like their chance, like, oh man, we can get out and see the world. And I mean, I guess to them, war was like fist fighting or something. Just like you'd go home afterwards, and then they get there and they're like, what the hell? Like they didn't really have any. They didn't have any mental picture of like what they were getting into. Sort of scared me. It's like, God, what's coming up that I could never imagine? Like you would just never, like I guess like robots or some AI robots coming at you. You're like, what in the world?
Right.
I thought it'd be fun to go talk to the AI robot. Now he's got me in a chokehold.
Yeah, that's very well brought out in the books I'm reading.
The Civil War stuff.
In the Ken Burns thing. The pictures of the battle, description of the battlefield with thousands of young boys. They were just young boys, just like you're saying.
Right.
And there's thousands of them, and they're either dead or they're waving their arm asking for help, and help's not going to come.
Right.
There's nobody there to help them. But he describes it, Tom Brady took the pictures, and people hadn't seen anything like that the first time they ever. So it was a change. But gosh, the amount of destruction of them were thousands.
And that just keeps ratchet. I mean, you always think from every single one that, all right, that's so bad. There's no way humanity will ever engage in that kind of thing again. But I mean, World War II is even worse, I imagine. I mean,
well, in some way, maybe in some numbers. But yeah, you're right. That you'd think that people would learn, but the people that learned got killed. But you see.
Right.
But the other thing, about our history is that whole history of the West. Of what happened, the Wild West. And a lot of that was a hand-me-down of the people that left because their families were killed or they didn't have anywhere to go. Right. So they just ended up wandering out there. And you also got a lot of the ruffians, the ones that didn't play by, Mark Twain flippantly left, but some of these guys did bad things and then left. And they went out west. And that's where you get your desperados. And it was a whole different world, but it was created by that war. That I never thought about that a whole lot.
Right. Displaced in all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
Towns burned to the ground.
Oh, yeah. So, but that's the kind of recreational stuff I'm doing. Maybe that's why I'm depressed.
And all this, when I went through so many frustrating steps to get you access to Ted Lasso.
I made a mistake and watched the last Ted Lasso first.
Oh no!
I didn't
Made a
know.
mistake.
I just turned it on.
Oops.
Since then, I went back and I watched 4 of them.
Oh, you watched 4. That's better than the last time I saw you.
Yeah, so I haven't been in that mood, to tell you the truth. But, and he's,
You know how good it's going to make you feel.
yeah, I'm not in the mood to feel good. Maybe in the spring, but not now.
Right,
Good Lord.
right.
I'm in the middle of a cold
You'd be
spell
like rowing
depression.
against the current.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to y'all? Everybody watching the mind thought thing.
What was it?
I think you got him to watch some of it. People kids. Yeah, whatever happened.
Oh, right.
Did you ever
That was a
finish that?
podcast. That was a podcast.
Yeah, I watched a couple of them, but I watched about 5 of them.
I was about to say.
But I didn't go back and I didn't get dressed up and root for him or anything.
Didn't you see that hat he was wearing for a while? His telepathy tapes fan club hat. John Huggins, good to see your name.
Oh, good old
Renee,
John.
welcome. Good to see everybody. What do y'all want us to talk about? We're up for anything. We're sitting ducks.
Well, I got one for Heather.
All right.
Greg Brown is not dead. She told me yesterday that Greg Brown died.
Oh, really?
And I got real sad. And I was
Fake
wondering
news.
why you didn't tell me. And then today, for some reason, I just Googled it. And Greg Brown died, but it wasn't.
It's a different
It
one.
was a 51-year-old Greg Brown who formed the band Cake.
Oh, right. I recently
that.
saw that
And
That
he
headline.
and he died.
and was confused for a second. I forgot about
But
that.
it wasn't the Greg Brown that I know. So, who is 76, so
Oh, wow.
it's not really,
The Greg Brown we know is 76.
yeah.
He's Iris DeMent's husband,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
not John Prine's.
What was the,
Why?
do y'all know anything about the shooting that happened in Stanton while we were gone?
No,
You haven't heard about that?
Haven't heard about it.
2 people shot last night. That's all I got. That's all I know.
I
Wow.
haven't heard anything. But,
Oh, Heather's relieved.
good.
Unless she's a big fan of cake, then we're very sorry for your
Yeah, I
loss.
started feeling bad about being happy about it. Because the cake guy was only 51,
Right.
but I didn't know him. And that makes all the difference in the world to me. That's terrible. So, Greg, I'm sorry you died.
Think about that too, like the Civil War. If your children or your young men went off to war, you wouldn't even know what happened to them.
A lot of times you didn't.
I mean, how did they even know how to get back home? Like you said, they probably just headed out. Their buddies like, we're going out west. Well, I don't even know where the hell I am. I might as well go with you. I don't have any idea how to get home. What state are we in? How far from where do I live?
All the young men.
We were listening to a book on tape that Catherine's reading for a book club. I slept through most of it, so I don't have a lot of the details, but the topic comes up a lot these days about the struggle of young men these days. There's a lot of books coming out, a lot of I've seen a lot of people talk about it on YouTubes that I watch, and of just not doing as good in school or in the workplace. A lot of
And what's the cause of it?
well, I think a lot of it. I mean, everybody, all the experts have their own different take and different spins, what they think is the cause or the cure. I think a lot of it is just the changing social dynamics of women's liberation and them taking a more significant role in the workplace and in school, and they're just excelling like crazy and doing better than men in a lot of places that they weren't even allowed to be in not that long ago. So I feel like that's my takeaway so far from what I heard, from what I was awake for in the car today. Listen to that. Like I mean, one of the things he proposed was that because men's impulse control and their frontal cortex develops later, a few years later in life than women's do, that maybe young boys should be delayed before they enter the education system, so it's a little bit more even footing, which I thought was an interesting take that I hadn't heard yet.
My boyfriend's a 25-year-old high school senior. Congratulations, doctor. I've read that. I mean, I've heard that stuff too, and it's like, but I've read that it's like because everybody on social media, everybody else's lives are so good, and everybody's posting what they're doing and they're traveling, and they did this and their girlfriend and that, and they're just sitting in their basement like. I guess that could get to you, just like, man, what am I doing? You just sort of give up. You just sit there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and there's so many rabbit holes for them to go down,
Mm-hmm.
where they can get involved with anything they want.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's ultimately satisfying as a person to be that.
I think there's so many angles, and a lot of times it's problematic to talk about because it was sort of a alt-right wedge issue for years of like 4chan and forums, sort of anti-feminist language or whatever. So a lot of like people see men's rights activists as just being sort of like anti-women's liberation or pro, like going back in time to when the woman's place was in the home, in the kitchen, raising the kids, and the man was the breadwinner, and just the idea that those roles are so defined that now that those roles are sort of obsolete, men are finding themselves with an identity crisis and not really, whereas women are sort of flourishing with this new access to places they weren't before and just crushing it. I mean, I was joking on the way down. I was like, I don't know. It sounds to me like the patriarchy was created by women just to take care of men because they were just ultimately incompetent. They love this illusion like, oh, you can't even understand politics or you can't understand business or this whole idea that where men were, but then once the women were given access to these things, they just ran circles around the men in every regard.
This is easy.
I started right. I started joking like maybe the patriarchy wasn't really men oppressing women, but it was women created this system to take care of these poor, pathetic men that were really only good when we needed them for the wars and the.
Well, I just read this study yesterday about. I don't want to get on Trump stuff, but they did this study. It was mostly for Trump supporters. It was they interviewed white men, and they like, how do you rate yourself compared like to an immigrant or an Asian or a black person and stuff? And almost all the Trump supporters saw themselves as being held down, less, They said they asked you questions like what's your salary, what's that. They rated almost higher than all the than other people, non-white people, but they just see themselves. It's like a defeat, like a just like how Trump talks, like they're out to get me. Like these people, these white men now just feel like they're the, just beaten down, downtrodden. Nobody cares about them. They're like, it's not really true at all, but they just see themselves that way now. So it's like so weird.
Well, I mean, it's complicated too because a lot of those same people have probably, there is a growing awareness of the white men get a lot of criticism these days especially on social media and stuff like that. Like I get called that all the time. It's like, okay, just
You get called what? White man?
well, coming from an older white guy or whatever.
Oh, yeah, like what are you
like my
talking about?
opinion
Oh, yeah,
is
right.
and I should be coloring and listening
Right.
and not coming out with an opinion or whatever.
Right.
And with and a lot of this stuff is just sort of expanding our consciousness and growing pains and hard, but I'm sure a lot of that language is in our culture in a new way.
Right.
And so, like, I don't know if it's a coincidence that there's that kind of bashing is happening at the same time that these people feel bashed, or if it's correlated, but it's a lot of people aren't as well read, or maybe not even smart enough to even understand what they're talking about when it comes to like bias, like that the more subtle aspects of all those critiques and the idea of I don't know, all that stuff some of it's complicated, and it's hard for them to understand why the person is saying that, and it feels like they're just being dismissed because they're a man and they're white.
That makes sense.
But at the same time, they're probably getting that critique because they said some weird stuff about immigrants or women, or and so it just becomes this whole snake eating its tail.
We've got a cultural issue here. It's not just the white men or virile men. I think there's a whole dynamic going on. For instance, with gay men, they've just entered into the shop. They're part of the man force now. And, for a minute, you'll be talking to somebody that you look at and say he played football and he was a jock. And the next minute, the same guy with the same job comes in and he's obviously gay. And both are accepted, but there's different rules. And I think figuring out the rules that we have in our culture right now, and that's not just men, women have it unbelievably. I mean, there are some women that act like men and some women that act like women, and then if you don't know what I mean by that, then you're probably one or the other. But it's just, there's so many things you can look at and say, well, how do you, in this culture right now, how do I fit in? And I think that's that whole idea of how do I fit in is where we go back to the original thing with that young boy in his room looking at stuff on the internet. Where do I fit in here?
Right.
And I think there's some real issues there. No matter which choice you make, you still have to make decisions based on that, which may or may not be valid for you personally. So it can be a difficult time. But you know what? I taught high school for 50 years. It's hard as hell being a high school kid all the time. It wasn't ever easy.
Right.
It's when you find out who you are, and usually it's by accident, but you find out a lot of stuff. But You don't go into it thinking you got it made. If you do, you're in for a rude awakening down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, you do have to confront that. But I can see where there's just one thing I guess I'm saying is there's more choices now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, like when Nana and Granddad were growing up, like it was pretty well defined. Like they knew what they were going to do. They were going to get married, have kids. Granddad was going to go to work. Nana was going to take care of the house. That was like, it was just sort of cookie cutter or whatever. You just sort of step into the role or whatever.
well, there's that, but it's also
And there's you can still do that with your life now if you want to, but there's not this social expectation
yeah,
that
it's
that's
still
what you
it
do.
can easily be done. Yeah,
Yeah. But there's
even-
something
but-
about that social expectation that was sort of a load off because there's a little bit of, or a lot of thinking you didn't have to do.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I had my brother who was gay that during that time didn't come out.
That hit it.
He hid it from the world. Well, he didn't hide it from the whole world. He hid it from a lot of the world because he didn't want to hurt my parents. And so those issues are different now. But
Right.
again, like I was saying, he still had issues to deal with, and he dealt with them the best he could. But it was a different thing. Yeah, I don't know. You know, and you're not. I don't think you're punished or whatever word. You don't feel the same onus to be one or the other. You know, like when I was growing up, if you were a male, you didn't want to be gay. But there's not that same feeling now. You might, you know, you have different emotions, but you know, you're in a culture now that you know where to handle it. You know, there's a place for those people. And they wouldn't, you know, my parents wouldn't have wanted him to do that, to hide from them, but he did because he loved them. But he wouldn't do that now.
Right.
So it's a whole different ball game now. But it goes back to the media too, and where we are socially. There's too many kids that have a bedroom with a television and a computer and live in another dark world. I don't know what we do about that, except go outside more.
It's so. I mean, it's so frustrating that you having that personal experience, you know how positive it is, that change in the world. The idea that Matt wouldn't have had to hide today is a good thing, obviously a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing, but it can be confusing.
But there's so many people that want to go back
Right, right.
because that change is threatening.
But
to,
and that's true with women too. Some people would like all their women to be dainty little women things.
yeah, that's a whole part of what the phenomenon surrounding like Trump and everything is, that whole like this manosphere, the language that they use about roles, and trad wife is now like a thing. It's like if you know what I'm talking
What
about.
is that?
Just young people that are embracing it almost like a viral meme or something of going back to the wife stays at home and the guy's the breadwinner, and they're just, it's almost like cosplaying life itself, the way, you know what I mean? Like they're almost playing roles as some kind of identity, which is a weird spin on it all. The idea that kind of language is even used about it is sort of surreal. It's like, I'm a trad wife or whatever. Traditional wife is, it's just, that's the,
I'd never heard that before. I'd like to have a couple of them. There's Mormons, you can have two, you can have 6 or 8, can't you? trad wife.
Trad wife.
Sounded bad at first. It sounded better.
It is funny because like you're saying, I don't really think about it, but that is like like I grew up, both my parents worked. They were just, that was normal.
I was raised by a single mom.
And so that was normal to me, but then I also, it was so, I guess, ingrained in my head, sort of, I guess from old TV shows and stuff you'd watch. It was always the husband coming home with a tie and a jacket.
Oh, yeah, Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah.
Ward.
Yep.
Even though the actual world I lived in
Ward and
wasn't,
June.
the world I lived in wasn't like that at all. It sort of still seeps into you from the imagery and stuff that.
Well, if your parents hadn't messed up, they would have got it right and been like Ward and June.
Were your grandparents the
Of course, I imagine he wasn't no beaver either.
Can I just say about the trad thing? I think there is a little bit of actual intellect going into, and a conscious choice being made by some people saying, you know what, this is actually economical right now. Especially, and it doesn't matter if it's the man going to work, because there's certainly a lot of situations in modern times where the woman is doing far better than the man is, and so he just sticks around and takes care of the kids and makes sure the house is cool, But I'll tell you this, having raised 2 kids where Corey and I were very full-time workers, it's hard and it's expensive to do that. And you got to do a lot of coordination, and you got to spend a lot of extra money and shit, because I think some young people are like, why the struggle? Why the struggle? And depending on who you fall in love with, if it just shakes out the way it does. But you're right, it is a whole trend though on like social media where there's an aesthetic to it. There's like the dress, the pearl necklace, whatever. There's an aesthetic to it as well when it's being presented. I mean,
it was modeled and talked about at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, like Turning Point USA. Like they're all about like the most controversial thing Erica Kirk said was for that the woman's role is to support the husband kind of thing.
It is weird when you start looking at all the people that are more outspoken about it. It's like, ugh,
It's cringe.
Yeah.
City.
Yeah. But to take away from the trendy part and the TP USA part of it all, it's like, it's kind of a smart thing to figure out if you can. If somebody can get an awesome job and carry the whole thing, sure. Because it's a lot of work to do all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So, and to not have to split that or pay for it for help, is awesome. And then about the manosphere, men got so scared they created AI to just take out everybody. Now nobody stands a chance. You know what I'm saying? We're going down, everybody's going down. All the women are like getting smarter and more awesome and successful and taking over, like, and saying, man, this is easy. Engineering, science, whatever. What do y'all need? I got you. And the men are like, oh shit, we can't compete. All right, release the robots.
Release the Kraken. Oh goodness. So Kyle brought us all a Valentine's present. He says that he bought these for us, but he hadn't seen us since Valentine's, so he's giving them to us now. I am guessing the true story is that these are discounted, the ones that are almost free a week after Valentine's Day at the Food Lion. No?
I gave Valentine's to everybody at work, and I got y'all some.
Well,
the one's for Catherine.
Catherine, you got one. You're now Kyle's Valentine.
Well, thank you, Kyle.
Stephanie got me.
I sort of love these hearts.
I love them too. If anybody doesn't want theirs,
Stephanie got me some. She did give me some discount ones that were just like says no, thank you, and no way. You don't stand a chance. Like all these insult ones.
Go back to the drawing board.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
Ew, gross.
I'm gonna go in here and grab one, and I'll
I would
read
never
it.
eat that candy you just gave to me. Gross. Get it out of my face.
Let's see what we got here.
The first one that you get is always the one,
Oh wait, it's a picture.
Oh.
Oh, these don't say anything.
It's just pictures on them?
Yeah, there's a heart.
God.
And what
Mine
looks
says stuff.
White men are so
Yours
dumb they
says
can't even
stuff?
read anymore.
Yeah, mine says true love
Oh,
on,
mine doesn't.
Nothing.
on one
Thank you.
side and XO on the other
What's
side.
that
Oh,
say?
thanks, Kyle.
Aw, true. This is sweet. Wow, I got the.
His doesn't say anything.
Oh
either.
wait, here's one that says something.
Yours doesn't say anything.
All these
You
say
want it?
something. Except for one. That's
That one
weird.
say
One of
anything, this one's mine.
Be mine is what mine says.
One of them is stamped, it looks like ecstasy.
Guy says it's cheaper for my wife and I to work less than to pay for childcare. We both work seasonal jobs. Different seasons? Sorry about that light there.
Seasons of the Witch.
Or they can like trade off where one of them's work like on that particular day, somebody's working day shift, somebody's working night shift. You see some of that stuff kind of, happen too.
But like you said, so many people now, oh, you didn't say this, but you said you were raised by a single mom. I mean, that's probably what, over 50% or close to 50% of the people now, isn't it?
I was too.
Yeah. That's probably just as, I mean, I would guess it's at least 50% of the country, isn't it? Not just necessarily a mom, might be a dad too, but a single parent.
I'm thinking about my friends. A lot of them had dads though. No, yeah, actually. I think more of them than not had dads around. Some of them were piece of shit dads, but excuse the French.
Dad, what would be your wisdom in just the idea? Because a lot of these online groups and stuff like that, the manosphere, the red pill people, the trad wife, the return to the past, the struggle and plight of men today as they have no identity and role, and
They're all babies.
and they're everybody's telling them their masculinity is toxic, and all these phrases that everyone's trying to understand what toxic masculinity is and stuff. What is it?
Are you trying to mansplain this to us?
I'm trying to mansplain it, but I know nothing. That's the only. I'm a mansplainer, but not because I think I know what I'm talking about. It's worse than that. But what do you think? Like the idea of what it means to be a man, is that a timeless idea? Is that an ever-changing thing? Is it completely dependent on the individual
Well,
himself?
I think it goes back culturally to your tribes, and each tribe was different. I always was amazed at when Captain Cook would go to an island, one island would be run by women, another by men, and another would be cannibals, and the others would be vegetarian. You know, each culture can develop.
So what it meant to be a man was different on each island.
Exactly. And so we went through a phase, and it goes back to the hunter-gatherer thing, I think, whereas the woman was at home taking care of the stuff around there and also the farming. So it wasn't like she was being lazy. I mean, she worked harder, but all he had to do was go out and kill an animal and bring it back. And that was his, and that's where a lot of it begins. You had
That makes
different
so much
roles.
sense. I think about that.
You have different roles that you played, and also
And that was for tens of thousands of years. That was just sort of a default.
and by
Those dinner
hunting,
rolls, right, Lex?
the hunting, the hunters would not only they'd be the fighters too. So the cultures that developed fighting, which seems like all of them did, the males tended to be the hunters, and so they developed more physically, I think, and the women were having children, so they developed their bodies to have children. So there is a difference physiologically, but there's also all that cultural stuff that went into it. You think about, that I remember it was one of those movies that I can't remember the name of it, but it was one of those westerns. But they showed the Sioux Indians, and they showed a tribe. It was Little Big Man, I think was the movie.
Dustin Hoffman?
Yeah, the Dustin Hoffman movie. And he was growing up with them. And one of the braves that was following along with the women was a warrior. But he was riding backwards and giggling with the girls. And you could he was he represented their gay population.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't just get rid of him, they just let him be that person.
Right.
But again, the role of going out and hunting and killing and fighting took on that masculinity, the strength, and makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to fight your enemy, you want to be stronger than they are. But and of course, there's also the maternal thing of a woman has children, and that's her main thing. Or a male is more like he's protecting what
Right, those instincts, the nurturing versus
it's a
right.
different thing. So there's a lot of reasons for it, but a lot of it's just that cultural dynamic of how people developed within their culture.
And I think you just opened up the perfect door in terms of like, because a lot of times when I'm watching these podcasts or YouTubes or whatever, trying to understand what people are thinking or whatever, like I feel like there's that sense of there's something really powerful about that idea that your tribe does have this idea of what it means to be a man or whatever, and there might be rituals attached to it or rites of passage or now you're ready for this and then you earn your way and it's just something to aspire towards, something to visualize, something to grow into, and then to enter a more abstract, like, well, there's aspects of those expectations of masculinity that are actually toxic, and you can really be anything, and like it's bad to put that kind of pressure on a child. Like all those things get sort of broken down and stripped away and scrutinized, and then at the end of the day, like there's just nothing to replace it, and then all those ideas are gone to a certain extent.
Yeah. Well, and what you're saying is, one of the points we're making is that up until recently, that discussion of that there are differences here was not even entertained.
Right.
That's just the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
And you fit in how you fit in, but you had goals and ideals about where you wanted to fit into that as a child. And most little boys are taught to want to be the athlete and a good athlete, but now we see girls having that same feeling, so the game's changed. What I haven't seen yet is that I watched the girls play basketball in the WNBA, and I haven't seen a bunch of boys in shorts with pom-poms out there dancing.
They're cheering them on.
They still got the girls doing the dancing. I haven't figured that out yet. But there you go.
It's funny when you were talking about, this like grow up to be a man, what you have to go through. Do we just know that because we're guys? Do women have that too?
Oh, there was a version of that.
These are the steps you take to.
I mean, there's a million versions of that, but yeah, I mean, it like in our grandparents' day and age, there were books about it, like how to be a proper young woman and how to
Right.
be a proper young man. And it was just sort of,
Old dusty books up on the shelf. Nobody
I mean,
ever
and I
read.
feel like we're nowadays with these generations, we're very well versed in like all the problems that created and how bad that was in so many different ways. But one of the things we've lost, and one of the things the red pill people are taking advantage of and exploiting and manipulating young men into bad communities and bad ideas of masculinity, is
I don't know that term.
which one?
Red pill.
Oh. All right, I won't use it again because I think that'd be easier than explaining it. But I think it stemmed from a documentary on the men's rights movement, where a feminist, it was sort of packaged like a feminist was going in to tear down to reveal men's rights activists for being the con men manipulators that she thought they were, but then got changed her mind, had a change of heart as she interacted with them and realized that they had a point. And I
Where'd
think the
the
movie
red
was
pill
called
come
Red
from?
Pill. So in the Matrix, there's like a blue pill and a red
Oh,
pill.
yeah, okay.
Right, says.
Gotcha.
But in the Matrix, like Neo is offered you can either take the blue pill and just go back to the way life was, or you can take the red pill and see life for what it really is. And so Neo takes the red pill. So a lot of
Do they have a yellow pill?
right.
I'd like to have a yellow one if you don't mind. I'd like to make something just bloom.
But who are these guys that think they have it so bad? I guess if you're dating something now, women are like, you're just a chump, that makes you feel bad. But
Well, that's always been true, I've found.
I mean,
I've never experienced it.
I can tell you, it hurts for a while, but you get over it.
I mean, you've heard of the incel community, right?
The what?
Incel?
No, I haven't heard of them.
You must
You
be on
guys
the-
are so
you-
lucky.
You must be on the yellow pill if you've never heard of it.
I mean, a lot of the school shooters identify with these groups or going down these rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Incel stands for involuntarily celibate. And they're actually online groups that self-identify as incels. It's weird. It's very, very strange. But at the
What do you
same
mean? They identify it. That's just what they are.
But would you call yourself an incel?
I want to go around bragging.
What's
I
Yeah.
know.
What-
Like,
what-
I mean,
That's me over here.
they're trying to make it their superpower.
What's it
but
mean
it's
again?
just
Invo-
involuntary celibate.
That means you're not getting in it.
Right. But it's become
To put it in more
but
modern
it's
term.
right. I mean, the strange thing is, like, none of this would even be worth talking about if it wasn't actually impacting our society. Like, it's so many of these rabbit holes that we're referring to. A lot of what we're seeing
No,
play out in real life. It's like it's why all these men on the right are like wearing masks and being cruel. Like it's all about this, like,
no. When I'd never heard that either until you just explained it. So are these people saying that like a badge of honor, or like that's like something that they don't want? They're just, we're incel and it's driving me crazy. That's why I act like a fool. Or they're
I
like,
think more of the latter, but they're finding strength in their numbers of coming together and like being this group. Like, I don't think anybody individually sees that as an identity, but if me and you started a group, like it's more of an allegiance to others that are in the same situation, and then they're becoming like a online gang of sorts.
I'll tell you what, though, it ain't changed that much. Every bar I was into, every guy in there was whatever that was.
That's what I was thinking. That's not a new thing, though.
Yeah, but it's not a new phenomenon. The new phenomenon is that you can join a group of people that all self-identify as that, and then start just engaging in the hatred of women, misogynistic language, weird data to back up your weird theory about how everything's stacked against you and the world sucks. And I mean, a lot of school shooters and stuff are people that are in these communities. And
No, I'd never even thought about
it
this.
even rises up to, like, you know, you got Trump pardoning Andrew Tate and all these guys that are sort of have gone into this void of these young men that don't see there's nobody in their life saying this is what it means to be a man. So they find somebody online that's like, hey, I'll tell you what it means to be a man. If no one else is telling you, if everyone else is too afraid to tell you what it means, I'll tell you what it means to be a man. And really, like, I you know, our culture at this point isn't talking like that, is afraid to talk like that.
Right.
The idea that I would tell somebody else what it means to be a man is problematic to begin with, because I don't know that person. So, like, maybe I'm wrong. Like, so, like, none of us want to engage in toxic masculinity. We don't want to say men don't cry. We don't want to say, you know, take it like a man used to mean something.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything anymore. When I was a kid, take it like a man is an idea I was familiar with.
Right.
Whether I could do it or not, I didn't know. But kids these days don't have that in the air. Everyone's afraid to put it in the air. So you get online and here's some jacked up dude being like, oh, you can't get a girl? That's because you're not being a man. I'll tell you what it means to be a man. You know, like, next thing you know.
I know. I think this is. I mean, it always sort of shocks me, but it amuses me. I guess it's good. Like, people at work. Like, I work with mostly women, and I'll say something. They're like, "Don't be a pussy." Like, wow, that sort of looks a little derogatory, but it's like women saying it. It sort of cracks me up if they say that.
When women say it.
But when you were talking about that, I never even thought about this before. So, see, you can learn by watching this show. At least I can. Like, this incel thing, and we were just talking about, like, when your parents and stuff. I guess in the older days, women that didn't work didn't really have much of an option to live unless they were hooked up with some dude that could pay for the food and stuff. So they didn't really have that many options. Even if the guy wasn't your first choice, it was like, it's either starve to death or marry this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, sort of things are hopefully getting much more equal. Women can easily just say no.
Exactly.
I never even thought about that before.
That's exactly.
But why are men so? Well, I guess women are desperate too. But why don't have? Are men and women identifying as this, or just men? Incel.
Just
Well,
men.
women have been desperate. We don't pay attention to that because we're men. We're men because we're men.
I mean,
Are you keeping up with the chats at all, Lex? Looked like a bunch came in. Like,
Yeah.
anything we should know about?
He's replying to them all what it means to be a real man. Don't listen to those three pussies. Let me tell you what it's like to be a real man.
I'm mentoring in the chat. And funny how the word mentor has the word
Men in it.
I don't know. It would be. I guess it would be tough if you couldn't ever get a date or anything. I mean, that would be. One of the most heartbreaking things I ever heard was a guy at work I used to work with, and he told me he was on some dating app, whatever, and he went, they're going to meet wherever, and he goes there, and she doesn't show up. So he texts her and says, where are you? And she said, I came in and I saw you, and I left. I was like, God, that's got to be, man, what, oh. I mean, it's like, God.
You know, he's on some forum right now.
But men have probably been saying that to women for 1,000,000 years. Oh, I came in and I saw you. I just,
Mm-hmm.
Imagine.
Hey, you know what? Some of these kids these days didn't lose quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter in a video game at the 7-Eleven, keeping trying, just trying to get a little bit further, a little bit further, a little
man,
bit
look at
further.
that.
Nobody did that. They're not doing that shit these days, and it shows.
Well, they do it on their on their computers.
But it's free. You're not losing anything.
Yeah.
Is it the quarters that's the driving?
Yeah. You got to take the hit.
And you had to wait because you weren't the only one. So you had to wait.
No,
and then you
obviously
got your
Lex has
game.
thought about this one.
What
than
game
I
are you
have.
thinking of as you're telling this story?
Double Dragon.
Double Dragon. Oh, that was a good
Mach
one.
3, I was thinking of.
Double Dragon. And you had to wait because then Tommy's turn, you know, all right, Tommy, hurry up and die, you know, so I can get another turn, you know what I mean? So, yeah, and it took a while, man. You just don't give up. You just got to, you're gonna lose a lot more than you're going to win sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to cost.
And that's okay. It's not, you're not just a loser. Or you're a loser and you don't deserve anything good like that. And sorry, that's just how you turned out.
Well, it's funny you said that term because I was going to say that in a humorous way, but I thought, I was going to say, well, just because he's losers. But they're not losers. They're just,
No.
for whatever reason, they just don't, you know. It could be a million reasons that they don't have, you know, that they're. No, are they saying incel like they don't have a girlfriend or they're not having sex? Like just, they don't even want a girlfriend. They just want to have sex.
No girlfriend.
But if they were getting sex and didn't have a girlfriend, would they be happy? Like, what if they were just out, like they were decent enough that somebody would hook up with them for a week before they realized what a clown they were and then left them?
Yeah, I think that's probably different than the incel community. You know?
All right. So incel wants a relationship.
So back to the
That's their first mistake.
So back to the original question, Dad. In your mind, or in our tribe, or how would you think about it if I asked you the question, what does it mean to be a man?
Oh gosh.
And it doesn't have to mean anything if it doesn't, but if it does, I'm curious what.
Well, I think there is a man in terms of being able to accomplish things in the world, which began with hunting and gathering and now includes having a job or making money or being successful. So, you know, part of that is being the breadwinner. So you see yourself as a guy that could do that for a woman or a family. And then I think the other thing has to do with fatherhood. You know, thinking that you would be, if you were, you know, a good, in terms of what a man should be thinking, if you set up your goals as being a man is to be a good father, I think that's a good thing to go for too.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody defines it that way, but that's, you're asking me about my life. And, you know, I wanted to be a stand-up person that you could count on. And that's what I thought a man should be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was lucky. I didn't have a lot of trouble with the idea of transitioning. I mean, I had a lot of trouble going from thinking girls were just cute little things to being the focus of my whole existence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, about 13 when that changes. I'm not saying that hasn't been a difficult transition, but that's not. That's part of the growth process of you learning to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
I was a boy, and then you know, but it's just like in the Bible, you put away childish things.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. What does the phrase toxic masculinity mean to you?
Someone who overdoes it to the point where the male image is important to them apart from anything else. And, they're not considerate people. They're not good people. I think being a good person is a lot better than being a strong
Tough.
man.
Right.
So, some of those toxic people just don't. They've defined their terms too narrowly in terms of what a good man should be. That would be the way I'd look at it. But I might be wrong, and there's other things I should be considering that I'm not personally. I think personal hygiene is more important than I'm doing. For instance, but yeah.
Do you have an idea of?
I was just thinking too what he was saying about the supporting and earning the money and stuff. Like, that's really a weird thing. There's got to be. I would feel bad about myself if I was dating someone or married to someone. Well, if I was married to someone that always made more money than me. That never made me feel like, God, I'm like less of a man. But I guess some people, if you're brought up that way.
That's the man sphere, man. It's okay. It's all right. We're all victimized.
But if that's, and I don't think anybody really teaches you. Well, I don't think people tell you that, but maybe it's like you just learn that. If you're the man, you should be making. But man, that would be a horrible feeling to feel that you are not a man or you are not doing what you should just because of the money you make. That's sort of give me the creeps. Like, oh my God, what a terrible thing every day. You bring your paycheck home and put it down. Her paycheck's more than yours, and you go lay in the bed and pout because you just like, oh, that would be. I'm not laughing at those people. If people are like that, I feel sorry for them. But y'all need to stop. Y'all need to man up and stop thinking like that.
Man up.
We just go through take it like a man, all the phrases, and judge them.
I guess it really, like you said, it's the culture you grow up in, the way your family teaches you, and the way your buddies hang out, and the way they kid each other and stuff. That sets in your brain, That's.
But here's something else that I've always wondered about that nobody here has an insight on. Is we really don't know how women think. And that's a whole nother world. I've spent many years studying women, and I've come up with absolutely nothing. Except utter defeat.
But my paycheck's bigger than yours, so come on.
You did what to her feet?
Well, just this, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but like at work, there's like maybe 4 or 5 women and me that hang out and do everything. Like we go to the concerts together. And if sometimes like another person will come in, they always have to say, well, this is Kyle, this is the one guy that we invite to everything. And I'm like, man, what does that say? Like,
Right.
And I probably make less money than all of them too.
I was going to say before I get into your comment, John Treadwell, that there's some serendipity happening because you came up. I said your name just a few hours ago outside of D.C. in a Japanese grocery store. I was staring at a can of wasabi peas and was telling my wife about you and your love for wasabi peas and how I had eaten quite a few in my day at your house.
I had some today.
Your
before
name,
the show.
your name passed over my tongue just hours ago today, and to see your name here now is really fun.
And he also said, "What a man!"
What a man! I tell you what.
It's like this before the show. I had some wasabi peas.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Oh
Look, it's
my
all coming full circle. He says the science learned to breed out the alphas and make everyone betas, just like Brave New World.
Ooh.
That's some red pill thinking. Like there's in that sphere of thinking, men are being what's it called? emasculated. Like we're being feminized by the feminists and the elites and the science. They're trying to take our manliness from us and turn us into cucks.
No,
And we're gonna have to wrap it at that. We're out of time, folks.
no, but this sounds stupid for me to even say that this is what women are and this is what men are. That's dumb to say right off the bat. But to me, if men became more like women, men would become better. Women wouldn't become better by becoming more like men, I don't think.
I mean, it depends on what you mean by that, because, well, we might have to pick this up next time. We're going into overtime, or this is now going to be behind the paywall. Welcome to Overtime with Jabber John.
Tune in for pay-per-view part 2 next week where we give you the real answer.
But
Unless you're not a real man, you don't make enough money to pay for the pay-per-view.
At some point next week, they might even use the word penis. But I doubt it.
But do you think becoming more like a woman would make you a better warrior?
Probably. You'd think you'd be more, you'd focus more, you wouldn't get that rage just to
I guess it just
charge
depends on what
in.
aspects, what that all means. Wow.
Yeah, well, it's dumb for me to even say this is what a woman is like, this is what a man is like.
I
but-
did some research on it the other night. I watched Tarzan and the Amazons. That was excellent in terms of showing me the difference, because you had a
Tarzan?
Tarzan, yeah, Johnny Weissmuller,
Wow.
one of the originals, and one of the he
Olympic swimmer, wasn't he?
he was yep, and he was friends with the Amazon women of that era. I didn't get the rest of the plot. I didn't stay very long.
Well, I'm gonna have to, oh, there's J-Dot right there. It was so great to see you last night. What was a heck of a show, wasn't it? If you're out there, Bar Brothers are just getting fired up. They're just catching their stride. They're playing Philly tonight, Brooklyn tomorrow night. They got 40-some more dates ahead of them, so they might be coming near you, and I highly recommend getting out there and checking them out.
No, where are they settled in? Massachusetts?
Montreal.
Oh, Montreal.
Gosh, I don't.
Are they Canadians?
I guess they are now. God, we're just now.
Wait
I'm
a
thinking of
second. Wait a second. We cannot go off the air without talking about what they told us unless we can't talk about what they told us.
Oh yeah, I just had the exact same thought. I think. Are you thinking about the fact
Yes.
that in
Yes.
order for them to get into America, when they applied for their visas, they had to submit the lyrics of the songs they were going to perform.
Oh my God,
No joke.
No joke.
that's so sad.
So that they could like look them up and see, and like, what are you going to be singing about in America?
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible.
So
And
thank
they
you,
said
tough
that
guys.
They said that it was run through like some division of something that they'd never had experienced that before. It usually just goes through this
What
one
in the
office or whatever.
world?
But it was like being reviewed by such and such that never had anything to do with it before, and then they came back with, it got kicked back, and then they requested all this information about their songs.
And so if they don't meet the approval, they don't get to come? Oh my God.
And last night was the first night of the tour. The whole crew was together because half their crew got stopped at the border, and for the first time in their whole career, they couldn't get in.
So the first 4 shows,
They
the
didn't have their
entire
light
thing-
guy. They didn't
Yeah.
have their sound man.
Oh
They-
man.
And see, that's a man. That's a man's thing. A woman would not do that to you. That'd be something a dumb man would do. Show how tough he is.
Right.
You do what I say or you don't come in here.
Man,
Yeah.
I wish
Oh, I
I
hate
have.
men.
I had the 2 songs that just came to mind are so old I don't remember how they actually go.
Just like a woman.
I thought of that one too, but I had one that's called "I'm Just a Man." I know I've written songs about this stuff, but I can't remember what they are. Maybe we'll just do something silly. want to take my red hat off, but I can't find it. I know it's on me up there somewhere. I'd push it off if I could get behind it, I swear. Oh, no. I see the sky changing. Oh, so burning. I want to take my red hat off, but I can't do it. Not while it's calling for rain. The whispers in the wind say I blew it again. Oh, no. I see the sky changing. Oh, so burning. I want to take my red hat off so I could see it just for once with my own eyes. Stick on some wings, perhaps free it flies. Oh, no. I see the sky changing. So burning. Y'all have to figure out what that's about. But a hint, I wrote it over 20 years ago. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. It's good to be back with you guys.
Be more like a woman.
We'll see you next time.
Have a good time out there.
You said it was old. You said it was old, but I was thinking it sounded like the lyrics. It could be like about wearing a Trump red hat.
I know, it's so funny. I wrote that like over 20 years ago, I think, in New Mexico. There was a mountain range that was on fire. I think it was all the way, I'm not sure where, it was really far away, but you could see the smoke from where I was. And the mountain range was called Oso, which means bear. And so when I'm like, oh, so burn.